So in 2009, 11 years ago, we had this incident called the Balloon Boy incident. And to me and you, probably, we still consider it a hoax. But there is some revisionist history to be had here. And so let's take a look at how the internet historian reports on it. And then we'll look at the father's own words right after.
Good evening. I'm Mike Check. And tonight on Unsolved Internet Mysteries, Balloon Boy. Here's the story you probably know. On October 15th, 2009, Falcon Heene, 6 years old, hopped into a balloon and was carried off into the air. For 2 hours and 60 miles, he traveled across the vistas of Colorado, eventually landing just shy of Denver International Airport. But when they opened up the saucer, there was no boy. At first, it was feared that Falcon had fallen along the way, and a manhunt started to find the boy's body. But after a couple of hours, Falcon wandered into the living room of the family home and confessed that he had been hiding in a box in the attic of the garage. It was one of the biggest news stories and memes of the year.
2009, it's a different time.
During the event, Balloon Boy was also the most searched term on Google.
Wow.
But it was an expensive game of hide and seek. Up to 50 rescue workers were involved, including 2 military helicopters, police, the Colorado National Guard, the Federal Aviation Administration, ambulances, firefighters, and the balloon drifted so close to the airport that a bunch of flights had to be rerouted. The total cost of the incident was estimated at $2 million. Press flocked to the Heene home, and the family gave an interview on CNN.
So 2 shots
And
of
then, this happened.
He's asking Falcon, did you hear us calling your name at any time? You did?
You did?
Why didn't you come out?
You guys said that we did this for a show.
Police and the press were quick to change angle from accident to publicity stunt. The mother and father were charged, and they pleaded guilty. So that's the story. Or is it? To this day, Richard Heene, the father, adamantly claims it was never a hoax, just an experiment gone wrong. And after doing my own research, I'm starting to believe him.
So the experiment was this balloon, they're trying to control it, and the hoax was that they were trying to do it to... They pretended like their son was in the balloon so they can get a reality show.
Media coverage.
Well, no,
15 minutes of fame.
No, but then they also wanted to get a reality TV show out of it. But then the only evidence that they have was like that one clip, that one sentence that he said. And then we'll see. He's going to go over the evidence on why.
Doesn't...
yeah, right. He's so young.
Say things that
But he's going to go through the evidence on why he said it. But let's keep going.
Is the story you probably don't know.
But one line.
Let's take a closer look at Richard Heene. He's an interesting guy.
This is the dad.
He likes to do science and chase storms.
Getting into the path of the oncoming tornado.
He is also an inventor.
Hi, I'm inventor Richard Heene, and boy, do I love my truck! That's why I would never permanently mount toolboxes or a lumber rack on the back. No! I'm going to use my pickup to pick up hot chicks! Yes! Yes! Yes!
There's a Charlie Sheen energy.
Oh my gosh.
HeeneDuty.com!
He's obviously nuts and a bit of a human being.
OxyClean dude.
I just invented perpetual motion.
And what about the
Who's
rest?
his drug dealer?
Youngest, Falcon. Eldest, Bradford. His wife, Mayumi, originally from Japan. And middle child, Ryu. The family appeared on the hit reality TV show Wife Swap twice. And it was their behavior on the show that made the police and the press suspicious. Before we break down the case against Richard Heene, I'm going to show you raw footage from the liftoff. Now, first thing, did you see it? Helium canisters. 3. They're big and they're expensive, and it's much more helium than they would need for a one-time hoax, but the right amount for ongoing experiments.
Yeah, why would
This
you
is a
over-prepare?
purpose-built structure for Richard's experiments. Seems elaborate for a hoax. a high voltage sticker, because Richard really was testing electronics on board.
Hold on, Brad. Cut. Record.
Yeah.
This is a release cord, not a tether, by the way.
One.
Thing is pulling.
Whoa!
God. Okay. Are you Heather?
One of the loose tethers.
Get up like a tether now!
Now Richard gets
Or it got
mad,
loose.
and it really doesn't feel like acting. Either he genuinely is losing his temper over the loss of his balloon, or he's deliberately making himself out to look like an asshole.
Spider-Man! Get tethered out, Jesus! God damn it!
So basically he's saying, if this was a hoax, why would he pretend to lose his anger before it's revealed that his son wasn't in there? Unless it was like a real experiment with like a real loss, like that you're watching like drift away in the sky.
Yeah, you're like, all my stuff was in there.
Yeah.
The kid sure is doing a good job of acting too, and remember that they would only have one take because there's only one balloon.
I told you to tie down tethers! No, you know what it is? You never listen to what I say!
It's a real fight.
They won't, I know, and they're not listening to the kid.
Oh my god, you're a good boy, I love you.
Because he said shut up to him. And he wasn't listening to him. He was just like so mad.
No, so the
See, he doesn't even believe
So
it.
it's the son. Yeah, the son tells the dad that he saw a falcon crawl in. That's a
Yes.
critical piece of information.
He keeps shouting it and no one's listening to him.
Right,
Because
right.
he's just so mad
But-
at his
but the-
wife.
but it's
They're
like- Right, and then it's that point where they try to look for Falcon and they can't find him. And what choice do they have but to believe the son that's telling him he saw Falcon crawl in?
yeah,
So
but
that
you're
must-
the kid that just heard his dad yell at his mom like that.
But now, like,
And then he comes looking for you. You're not coming out.
I know, but just think of like the parents, like the stress on the parents. Like, oh my god, that's terrifying.
I know.
Like,
It's everyone
you're-
panicking now.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't know. Were
Like-
they good actors? The show should know whether
Well,
or
I'm
not
just
they
trying
can
to-
act well.
I'm just trying to
'cause
paint
that doesn't look like
a
it's
perspective
acting.
of the dad and the mom right now. It's like they can't
yeah.
find their youngest son. Their other son is telling them that he's
Well,
in the
they're
balloon.
fighting over whether or not they put the tether down because he just
Right,
lost
no,
all
but then
his
that's
equipment.
but that's what their son is telling them. It's like Falcon was in there, and so now it's like, oh my god. Oh,
But here's another weird
heartbreaking.
thing. This photo from the police shows that Richard's electrical equipment for readings and experiments is still on board. Why? Why let your stuff get smashed out in a field somewhere? Now that you've seen the liftoff, let's look at the case against the Heenes. That the balloon couldn't have lifted Falcon. He called the news before 911, the live slip-up on television, a confession, and a guilty plea. Pretty airtight, right? Nope. Let's start from the top. Could this balloon lift a boy? The balloon is 17 feet wide by 6 feet tall. With this we can figure out the surface area and the volume. We also know the construction materials. Plastic, alfoil, cardboard, thin plywood, duct tape, wire, strings, tether. The balloon's total volume is over 900 cubic feet. That gives us a lift potential of 65 pounds, minus the weight of the craft, and Falcon only weighed 37 pounds. The police weighed him. That
Small
gives you
kid.
enough lift potential to raise the
would've
boy
lifted one of
with
my
another
kids
11 to 12 pounds to spare. Next point. You're about to hear the 911 call. The media and police both said that Richard called the news first, then 911. That was a lie. The phone records show that he called the FAA first, because he knew they could track the balloon better. Then they told him to call 911 and he immediately did so. When he did, the 911 operator put him on hold. When taken off hold, Mayumi picks up the phone.
Okay. And so was it an experimental plane?
It's a flying saucer.
And that's gone too, right?
I'm sorry?
How long is the flying saucer gone as well?
We gotta get my son.
Okay. Hang on just 1 second. Don't hang up, okay? Just a minute.
They get put on hold for a second time.
Ma'am, does it have any kind of a tracking device or anything on it?
GPS.
Okay, where was the saucer? Was it in the backyard?
Yeah, here, take that. Hello?
Yes, is this Richard?
Yes, it is.
Okay, was the flying saucer in the backyard?
Yes.
Okay, it obviously has electronics where he can know how to work it. He gets it up off the air, off the ground.
No, he doesn't know how to operate.
So we are sure that he's in that.
Yeah, we looked everywhere, and then my son just said me because we had it tethered. It wasn't supposed to take off.
So there's no electronics on it. There's no tracking device, right?
No.
Okay, hang on just a second.
By this point, they've now spent 20 minutes with the police and they've been put on hold for a third time. So it was no wonder that they called the news and asked for a helicopter. Next point.
Yeah.
What did Falcon have to
minutes.
say about the answer he gave on CNN?
Well, what happened was, this Chinese reporter walked up to me. He asked me if I could show him how he got in the attic for his TV shows. So I said, okay. And then after that, another person asked me, so what happened about this balloon thing? I was like this. I did it for the show. I said that because I thought he was talking about the Chinese guy.
It's not a great excuse, but it's within the realm of possibility. On the day of the Heene's arrest, the police issued a warrant to take phones, computers, documents, cameras, everything they could. And what did they find? Nothing. Nada. They interviewed Falcon, Brad, Rio, each several times without parental supervision. Again,
Illegal.
what did they get? Nothing. So the police had nothing. That's not great for the prosecution. So the police would need a confession. They tried Richard, but he wasn't admitting to anything. So they pressed Mayumi, and she spilled the beans. But hold on, because her confession sucks. English
I'm
is
like,
not
does she
her
not
first language.
Get a
Police
translator?
arranged the meeting under false pretenses, so she didn't have a lawyer with her. And also, it doesn't make any sense. She said in the confession that they built the craft only 2 weeks prior. Interesting. Here's Sherry from Wife Swap.
There was one point where I had to hold the spaceship and clean it and carry it, and Falcon ran into the spaceship and hid in there.
Built 2 weeks prior? Well, Sherry just said that she was cleaning it during filming, which was 8 months ago.
Are you suspicious of him, and if so, why?
Knowing him, I couldn't imagine that he would tell the whole country that his son was up in the balloon.
She also speaks about Falcon.
What's Falcon like?
Literally is the type of child that you would actually see that would go into the spaceship. So it wasn't surprising that maybe Richard might have thought he was in there.
So that leaves a big question.
Initially he did it.
Why did the police pick on Richard Heene?
I'm being persecuted, I think, for the benefit of Alderton. His term runs out in 2011. He's probably going to run for governor, who knows, but not off my back.
How dare Richard Heene accuse an honest man like Sheriff Alderton of... Oh. Richard said...
Oh, huh.
This guy says the guy
An honest sheriff.
misused taxpayer dollars for campaign.
They're
Richard
all,
said that
all
he-
sheriffs, I think, in all counties are voted in. So they're, what are they called? What's it called when that's
Elected.
how you get your oh yeah, elected
taking it
officials.
to court. He would not plead guilty. He would not confess. So over the next month, the police applied pressure, bringing up topics such as Mayumi's citizenship status and federal charges. It was lose-lose for Richard. Potential felonies, the cost of
Threat
court
of
and lawyers,
deportation.
his wife could be deported. The story was #1 on Google and the press had already decided it was a hoax, so any jury would be stacked against him.
What?
It was a hoax.
Yeah, we know.
Guilty or innocent, this plea was the only sensible choice he had. The
If you wanted
Heenes
to
were
continue
handed a
life in America.
$36,000 fine and a short term in jail. And Richard would have to formally apologize in court before a judge and the police.
I'm very, very sorry. And I want to apologize to, all the rescue workers out there. And the
Dude, that sucks.
people that got involved in the community.
And he's like, I promise it wasn't a hoax.
I know. Like, he has to apologize for nothing.
Lastly,
That's a lot of guilty pleas for
despite
people who
poring
aren't rich.
over dozens of interviews over the span of 8 years, I have not been able to find one instance where Richard has been caught in a lie. There's evidence of the police lying, evidence of the media lying. Richard's story has not changed. So where does that leave us really? One piece of evidence. This interview. The testimony of a sleep-deprived 6-year-old who's not even really listening to the question. That's it.
6 years old?
Those 10 words are the main substance of the case against Richard Heene. When I first started researching this story, I thought it would be a fun chance to take a few cheap shots at some liar from Colorado. But now I'm not so sure. I'm not saying for certain that this isn't a hoax, but I think there is more here than what was decided in the press and by memes in October of 2009.
Dude, we're almost at the 11
year mark.
Oh, yeah. So, dude, okay, so the moral of the story is do not let your 6-year-old on camera. Like,
well, it's not only that. Yeah,
that's all they
but
needed.
If they knew any person who has interacted with 6-year-olds and asked them questions, like,
no, but that's the thing.
Like they question them on their own. They just like that's not allowed because you don't understand what's going on in their mind. You don't understand even how they're interpreting your questions.
Right. No, but that's the thing. It's like, don't go on camera with your 6-year-old. Like, you can go on camera, but like, because he did everything right. This guy, Richard Heene, like he called for help.
He's like, we have nothing to hide.
He needed help. Like he willingly gave him everything. But then like the political apparatus at the time and the judicial system and the cops, they all saw it as an opportunity. And they used him.
Well, not only that, who was going to pay for the $2 million
thing?
And then also,
that's
opportunity for PR. It's
like
free PR. Your little town is now nationwide.
Yeah.
Like on.
Think about calling for help and then your life just being turned upside down because
if you're
it's an
a little
opportunity.
child, I already know my kids too. When they hear me fight, they get really quiet.
Right? No, but that's the thing. It's like
we don't get mad at them, but they don't want to get in the way of mom and dad.
He did everything right. It's just that one thing. Don't let your kid on camera.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's the thing that got him. It's just like the 6 words of a 6-year-old or something. Okay, so let's look at Richard Heene's own words because this is very enlightening. So Richard Heene saw this video and then he got in contact with the internet historian, and so he actually talks about it. And so I think it's well worth getting into.
Corruption in the justice system
is rampant.
Mm-hmm.
Before I get into the facts, I want to tell you one thing. All right, my attorney was David Lane. I took that plea because I told him I wasn't going to take. There's no way I'm going to plead guilty. No way, I didn't do it.
Yeah. So why would you?
He's like, why lie now?
Before you make a decision, look into the case I'm now suing Larimer County for and Fort Collins Police Department. He said, look into Tim Masters. So I went home. I looked at the Tim Masters case online. It was mind-boggling. Mind-boggling, man. They framed this poor guy. Tim Masters went to prison for 10 years. He didn't do it.
Tim Masters was exonerated through DNA evidence. He later sued Larimer County and the city of Fort Collins and received a $10 million settlement.
That's a good lawyer.
The case of who murdered Peggy Hattrick remains unsolved.
Broderick, I think his name is, Lieutenant Broderick, the lead investigator. He perjured himself on affidavits, perjured himself on the stand, and I guess they fabricated evidence, to my understanding. And
is the police department they're talking about?
They withheld evidence. The guy goes to prison. Jolene Blair was the prosecutor. She became a judge because of that.
Judge Jolene Blair was later censured by the Supreme Court for withholding evidence favorable to the defense in the Tim Masters case.
Lieutenant Broderick, I think I'm saying his name right, he became a commander. These guys got raises. You know, they went up the ranks because of this. So,
that's the scary thing. If you have a case in front of people and it's opportunistic for you to be guilty, you will be guilty. Isn't that crazy? I know black people everywhere are just being like, "Oh yeah, duh," but damn, it happens. It happens.
We've been telling you the system's been rigged for a minute, but no one's been listening.
It happens to white people too, so no one's safe.
Well, anyone who is a liability, and like $2 million to do that, and then there's opportunity to take advantage of the whatever tragedy.
Right.
Like,
right. This was
it
yeah,
just
no. Okay,
hit
let's
them
keep
while
going
they did-
because
like it just gets worse.
yeah, everyone's gonna get a raise and a promotion if you get guilty, and that's like yeah, let's guilt this guy.
Scapegoat.
When he said that to me, I get it. Fine. Anyway, that is why I had to do what I had to do. On top of the fact that they were threatening to
Do so
deport
much.
my wife. So
Deport his
just
wife?
try to
Yeah.
Break up
imagine.
his family.
I fight it. They gather up all their lies and all their evidence, and then I've got to fight from jail. I lose my kids. Mayumi's deported to Japan.
That's immigrant
What
life.
would you do?
Interrogating the Heene kids.
Okay, so yeah, before we get into this, which is highly
That's what
illegal,
America's been doing to black and brown communities.
his choice was like plead guilty, go to jail for a short-term time, and then like that's it, or plead not guilty, go to jail for a long time. Your wife gets deported, your kids are taken from you. It's like, what would you do?
Are
Like
you
I
gonna
couldn't
elongate this battle you're gonna lose? Just
he-
get it over with now.
That's how mafia works. Okay, so let's get into this and get your joints ready because it's gonna be.
Oh,
it's, like,
do I need to do
infuriating.
the 3? I need to
No,
do the
it's not that bad. But let's just because the kids just like whatever about it.
So mad. You're not allowed to interrogate kids.
Mayumi's attorney told the Laramie County Sheriff's Department in a letter that they will not interrogate our children because under the law,
By law, you're
they
not
cannot
allowed
do that
to.
unless the parents say that they can.
Yeah, he's saying that.
So the way they get around this is they make a false claim to DHS that our kids are somehow maybe abused. Then they
Make
send
them
a
part of the
sheriff
state.
down to write down the questions or ask the questions to the person at DHS. Then they walk out of a room, enter the room where the child is, and ask them interrogating questions. How is that even legal?
Because they're
How
under
can they
ward
do
of the
that?
state. State of the ward.
So, in this next clip, you'll see it.
Falcon, tell me about the balloon being for a TV show.
We didn't. We never wanted it to be a TV show.
Oh.
Well,
why was
Falcons.
there a balloon?
Phone
We
mouth.
made it so we could hover over traffic.
To hover over traffic.
Yeah.
Listen
Camera in
closely,
it.
and you're going to hear the deputy giving the questions to the woman interrogating.
Ask him which have him draw the doors to the garage and ask him which door to the house. Okay.
Is that legal? Probably not. Who knows?
Well, we
It's
were
very,
looking at
what's
this.
it called? Leading?
I'm wondering, where's the door? Where's the door to the garage?
Oh, it's down here. I just can't write it.
Did someone help you get into the attic?
No.
Oh.
I just looked everywhere to find a hiding place. I looked up. I found the attic, and I went up there.
How come
That's what you
Perfect
said.
hide and go seek
How come
place.
you were looking everywhere to find a hiding place?
Because I'm scared when people yell at me. My dad yells.
He's the one that gets in trouble. Troublemaker.
Falcon, I thought that you said that you didn't like your dad yelling at you. That's why you went to the attic.
Yeah, he did yell at me.
What did he say?
He didn't
yell?
yell.
Yes. He didn't actually yell.
He couldn't find
He
me.
was just like kind of yelling like, get out, get out, get out, get out.
Come out here.
Oh yeah. No, he
Get out now!
out of the actual
Okay, get out.
I mean it.
out of the saucer.
But he wasn't in there.
I think he is. He's coming out.
Get out of there now.
Yeah, he was in there right before.
Take this serious, all right?
Oh.
That's why he hid in the attic because they were yelling at him.
Get out, get out, get out.
He did get
The flying saucer.
Yes.
I was playing in the flying saucer.
Oh, I think he was
Richard
trying to-
Heene and Mayumi Heene to cooperate in the investigation.
No, okay, so yeah, so he was playing in the saucer, and then his dad yelled at him to come out. So he
You're
didn't
not
want to
allowed
go.
in there.
Right,
Yeah.
so he didn't want to get yelled at again, so he found a hiding place in the attic. And then so when they start yelling at him, or start yelling at his name, he's going to stay in there longer because he thinks he's getting in trouble for the saucer thing.
Yeah.
Because they're yelling at him for being in the saucer.
Not only that, his dad sounds angry.
No, I
probably.
know.
If you
No,
heard
and-
him
and
in that
right,
room,
and
it's
so
like,
he was
"Whoa,
already
I'm in
trouble.
scared. I'm in trouble for something. I don't know what, but I'm in trouble.
Yeah, that's what I want to clarify.
That's what
He
the
was already
troublemaker
getting
always
in trouble for playing in the saucer, and he was already scared about whatever his dad is yelling at specifically after the saucer incident. So, It's very believable.
Of possible child neglect or abuse involving the above-named children by producing the children for an interview with Larimer County Human Department of Services. They didn't ask them questions about safety. The entire questioning, 2.5 hours per kid, 7.5 hours, we were away from our kids. They interrogated the kids about the incident.
Okay, yeah, so they got those kids to get interviewed under false pretenses because they said they were under an unsafe household. That's how they got an interview with the kids. And now Richard Heene's mad because he's like, they didn't ask him any questions about safety. All they wanted to ask him was about the incident.
Safety then is about like, okay, are you getting fed properly? Are you going to school?
But
are you going, you know, like...
The terrifying thing is if you're a target, they're going to use those resources to get you. Like, it doesn't matter how safe your home is. They're going to twist your arm. Oh, man. That's how mafia works.
Loopholes.
Nothing to do with it.
I'm tired. I'm gonna go back down.
You know what? I have a few more questions for you, okay?
So here's the conclusion of the DHS. I'm going to read this to you. According to the Department of Human Services caseworker, Jessica Link, the department is not involved in this matter. They have no recommendation and their assessment is closed. So they found nothing. My kid told the truth.
Yeah.
They could have walked away from it all right then and there. No, they kept pressing. They kept coming after us. They're ruthless.
The vindictive sheriff's department.
After Falcon made his presence known, Detective Heffernan looked at me and he said, "What are you going to do about the press?" Well, all this time we were there, we never even watched the TV. We had no clue what was out of our front door. So he said, "Yeah, you got a bunch of press out there, you're going to have to say something." I said, "I'm not going to say anything to anybody. Are you out of your mind? We just found our kid."
Yeah.
He said, "Well, look at it this way, Richard. If you don't say something, they're going to be out there for the next 2 weeks hounding you." So I had to think about it for a bit, and he was kind of right because how am I going to get to and from work? I can't bring press to my jobs. Well, then I told him, I said, "Okay, fine, but would you come out with me to Detective or this investigator Heffernan?" He said, "No, I can't, but the sheriff is on his way over. He wants to stand out there with you." That's what he said verbatim. I had to sit there and wait until the sheriff showed up. The sheriff shows up. He's out there, stands out there next to me during this press conference. He's the one that wanted the media attention. See through it. See it for what it really is. After I do my time, they finally allow me.
Okay, so yeah, I forgot who it was that was giving him the advice to wait for the sheriff. But basically, the sheriff used him as a PR opportunity. And so that sucks. It's like he was a PR opportunity for the sheriff from the beginning.
To go get the flying saucer, okay? And we're worried that there's going to be media there. We go through the police, we go through the sheriff's office doors, and there's a bunch of cops there, and one of them is snapping off photographs in the lobby. I couldn't believe it. So we asked, we said, "Is this going to go out to the media?" You know? They said, "No, this is just for our records." Well, lo and behold, the next day, the woman snapping pictures writes a sarcastic article and posts it up on the blog, and the media picks it up. I'm quite sure the Heenes have no idea how they turn my life, indeed the lives of many of us, upside down with their antics. Heck, they don't even know who I am. When Richard and Mayumi Heene picked up their balloon for evidence, I had my camera. She's bragging about it. He is now sporting a beard and a mustache. She is not. They didn't like my taking photos, and actually I said I needed their permission to do so. They added they didn't want their pictures in the papers or on TV. So I took only about 50.
What?
So this woman writes her nasty little blurb about us.
Yeah.
And then there it is. Photograph, the Colorado one, picked it up and publicized it. And of course Sheriff Alderton was involved as well. 10/22/09, he calls this article Up and Away, the Bullseye, or at least it was taken off the site then. I sometimes have trouble figuring out what to write about, but not this week. Some of you may have heard about a little incident we had involving a spaceship balloon, a big balloon. This incident has given me ample fodder. So he's bragging. The sheriff's bragging. They're all in it together. Who wants the press?
So right away, the sheriff knows how juicy this is for him. And like he's like getting ready to take advantage of it from the beginning. What a guy.
They will stop at nothing
They're
to
elected
get
officials.
a conviction, especially if the media is involved. Tim
So he said they will stop at nothing to get a conviction, especially if the media is involved. So right away, they
close a
want them
case.
to be guilty. Yeah.
To close a case, to say they got a bad guy.
Yeah.
That's
It's
what
a high
sheriff
profile
is.
case. Everyone gets a raise because you took the balloon boy down.
case
Nasty.
was high profile in that it wasn't just Colorado. This was globally. These guys went home that evening and thought, oh my God, this is a high profile case. This could accelerate our career. We got to find something. We got to assemble something. It took them 3
Sharks.
weeks to find a charge.
Sharks
there was no
behave better
charge.
than this.
3 weeks of digging around, trying to find a suitable charge for this. Think about that, man. So
Yeah.
they had no evidence. That means they had to go fabricate the evidence. And this is why I had to take the plea deal, because in Tim Masters' case, they fabricated stuff. When I saw that they started fabricating evidence against me, there's no way these guys are going to let me go. So if I fight it, I know damn well I'm going down the road, 4 to 6 years.
Oof.
They
We
pretend
built
their
that as a
options.
family project.
Where's my other arm? Yeah, there's no options.
And,
you couldn't even see it. That's better.
He's saying,
All shit hit the fan, obviously. Falcon was in and out of that thing 4 times throughout the day. I got video to prove it. Those assholes lied for their own political gain at the expense of the Heene family. I've lost complete respect for our judicial system and cops alike. And after looking at this, if you don't know that I'm telling the truth, I don't know what to do, man.
so yeah, it's basically what the Black Lives Matter movement's about. Can't trust the police, especially if
Well, it's just like systems and rules are rigged in a way that it's like
right where it's beneficial for your conviction. Like
yeah,
you have
like,
to
it's
now operate.
rigged. Then it's not judicial. It's
Right. But this is a teachable moment for people. Like you really have to stay out of the spotlight, because the more high profile your case becomes, the more beneficial it is for a guilty conviction to happen. And that's like the nasty truth of our judicial system.
I think social media is bringing a little bit of light to it.
I hope so.
Better and faster than
Yeah, I mean the fact that we can make YouTube videos about this and hopefully, reach an
not
audience.
get it blocked.
Right. I mean the only way revising history happens is if we can keep a discussion going about what happened.
Yeah, and show light onto the other side. There's perspective, much needed perspective, instead of being like everyone's lying or whatever. Like it's like wait, what? Really?
Hey, our show is set up to take guests. Should we get him on? Should we ask him if he wants to talk about his experience?
Oh no, I might get emotional. I have a 6-year-old too, and like I feel so bad. Like that poor kid does he feel like, oh my gosh, I broke apart my family? Like if his wife couldn't hold it together.
He seems to be well adjusted. I think the father
okay.
kind of feels the most of the stress from the incidents, but
I know
Falcon,
he
for
took
the
the
most
fall,
part, seems
and I'm sure.
yeah, and that sucks. Like you see it in his apology. He's like he is sorry. Like
To all the people involved.
Yeah, absolutely
Like,
he is,
like,
because
it really
like
was an accident.
Yeah.
I did not plan this stuff.
but
like
at the same time it's like it's hard for him because it's like he was so genuine when asking for their help, and to say that he lied, that's like God, that's like the worst like would you rather ever. I can't think of another one on the other side.
It's
like would you
not
rather
only that, to know why he had to.
Yeah. It's like
For someone to have pointed it out and look up this case, and he's like, "What? This happens all the like this."
Yeah.
Is
No, so it's like
it's
like that. Would you rather like have sex with a goat and no one knows, or not have sex with a goat but everyone thinks you had? He got that. He got the everyone thinks you're guilty but you're not guilty, and that's
Yes.
like ooh, that sucks. It's like
A lot of plea deals.
It would be better if it was
plea
actually a
deals
hoax
are,
and it didn't go anywhere.
So to be convicted of something, but if you took a plea deal, you have to look at the deal. What was in the deal? And that's what people don't know. No, he's convicted of, he was guilty or whatever.
Yeah.
Like for poor people, I don't take convictions all that seriously. I have to like look at it. And for rich people, I don't take the lack thereof of innocence. Because who's their lawyers?
Yeah.
Let me look up what's kind of stuff they've been able to do.
I mean, honestly, I hope we can finalize this chapter of Balloon Boy and he can get some what is that? Some justice for it. Just because it's like it probably ruined his life. He probably had a lot of business opportunities that he missed out on just because people think he's a fraud.
Like, did he have to move? Did he have to do like?
I mean, yeah. Anyways,
did his marriage survive that? Like his family, you know?
I watched some video.
We incarcerate a lot of people. Like we break up their families.
Yeah, and he knew that was what's going to happen. So I think that's why.
He's like, I just got to take
pled guilty
less. Yes,
to keep his family together.
Stay home with my family. What's going to get me there and keep me there?
I know it makes him this story just makes him an even better father than what we think he is. You know. So good job, Dick Heene.
And he probably does feel bad because he's the one that's experimental. He probably sees that kid is just like him.
Yeah,
so he gets like troublemaking, but at the same time, none of it was malicious.
Yeah,
it was just like a true accident.
This is one of the worst forms. I mean, besides Monica Lewinsky, this is one of the worst character assassinations there's ever been. In the
I think
recently.
It happens a lot in social media now. We see it. It just dies down faster.
But for it to be global like this. That's the highest tier of character assassination where everyone around the world thinks one thing about you. And
that's all they got in the news.
Geez, yeah.
Yeah, that's all. And then they didn't finish the story. And it's
you're right.
Follow up. Always got to follow up and always got to understand what was in the deal and who benefited.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but now the news doesn't have to.
Hindsight, oh my gosh.
All right. Well, we could keep talking about this forever just because
But there's a lot of cases like this.
Happening.
I was going to say the DNA, there's a lot of groups of lawyers which this is what I have to give credit for the U.S. for, is that it is still producing lawyers who are trying to fix the system within the system.
Right.
You know, because they're trying to clear up a lot of cases they're like, that was bad, you know,
But I think at a certain point it is up to, I think, because, it is up to media to help correct the norms for everyday people to understand, to catch up on the story, right? And I think social media kind of gives us an opportunity for just regular people to start the conversation going and not having to wait for like networks to pick it up.
Well, because they're also controlled by big businesses,
but also
who also control legislation. Whose side are they really going to show?
No, I know. So social media, I feel like, gives an opportunity for stories like this to get a hold and become popular because they're not beholden to their corporate interests or whatever.
Yes.
So yeah, hopefully Richard Heene, your name gets cleared, because honestly, that sucks. If anything, there's a lot of lessons to be learned, but if the justice system wants a guilty conviction on you, no matter what the evidence says.
If Kavanaugh got a second chance, why can't anyone?
Kavanaugh, I know, he just really likes alcohol. I just really like beer.
Wait, you're gonna be judging who? What?
All right. Well,
for how long?
So high. We hope you like this video. I know all of his hair isn't even gray yet, so he's gonna be on there for a long time. All right.
Is it time to move? I'm just kidding.
How do we end these videos?
Check
out our merch store if you want buds like the ones that we have. But if you don't have buds, we're your buds. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Always have fun.
If you liked this video, don't like, don't comment, don't subscribe, don't retweet, don't follow, don't reblog. Do not smash the like button. In fact, keep your fucking hands away from the like button. Stop. Stop.